I'm going to give you a little backstory about my life, my upbringing, about hair, and how I was raised, and how I didn't always like long hair. I despised long hair. There was a reason behind this. I wanted to do what I was told not to do. And one of the biggest things that my parents would not let me do growing up in school, what all the other kids did, was get a haircut, trim my hair. I could not do any of those. Scissors were not allowed on the hair, it was considered a sin. My upbringing was very strict, very, very sheltered, and I had a very tough upbringing. My childhood was very lonely. I didn't hardly have any friends, and I always envied all the other kids in a way that I wished that I could look like all the other kids because I had to go to school. And people would say, "Why would you think that?" Well, at the time, all these cute hairstyles were out. We had like the little bangs that the girls got. We got the straight cuts. Some of them were really long, but they had the really straight blunt cuts and just cute little short haircuts. I could not do any of those. I also could not wear pants. So I always had to wear dresses, even in the middle of winter. And mind you, they were past my knee. So I always felt like I looked really, really drab. And mind you, we had to have clothes that were hand me downs. And yeah, okay, that's fine and everything. But when all the other kids came to school with these cute little outfits, I had to come to school with things that looked worn. And I just was so embarrassed. And yes, it sounds silly, but when you have to go through this while you're growing up, it is very, I don't know, it messes with you as a kid. So that is how I grew up. And so growing into, my little bit older years, and not even so much older, I was like probably around 10, I believe, when I cut my hair for the very first time. And I was so scared. I hid my hair. I was trying to tuck it in, do all these things that my parents would not see. And I know before that, I remember I'd take my hair and I would tuck it under. You just take it and you do that little loop and you do the bobby pins and you just kind of see. And oh, mind you, the girls used to do that. Sometimes they do the curl in or the curl out. And yes, my generation did those things. It was still in the era of the 80s, but it was still something that we loved to do with their little curls. And so I would always do this, look in the mirror and wish for my hair to be short. So as I went on from a teen and I just started rebellion, doing whatever, sneaking pants to school, it was it was interesting how I um, forgot a lot of my childhood, and now some of the things come back, which is a good thing. But I know a lot of the trauma that I experienced as a kid was just from feeling the loneliness, I think, and it was more of that. Also, my family was very hush hush about things. You couldn't do anything without trying to keep it a secret. Or if somebody got sick with really health issues, nobody knew why. I still don't know why to this day my dad passed. I think it was cancer. From what I hear, it's probably cancer, but I don't know. All his family passed away from cancer, and I believe they had that rare genetic cancer in the stomach. So that is just something that uh, was very sheltered from to us, and it's you know good to know, especially growing up, and you need to know these things, especially with your kids, what is in your family so you can get tested for it. So, on to the story about my hair. I would always cut it. I started bleaching my hair very young. Well, not bleaching. I would use sun in, and we would put it in our hair. I remember this. Like we would go outside, try to make our hair blonder. Then I started using peroxide in my hair to try to get it lighter. There was so many things. I don't know if you're my age, you remember doing this, and it was just that longing to have short blonde hair. So into my adulthood, as I got into my 20s, 30s, I started having all these cute little haircuts when I was able to, just kind of do what I want to do, basically. And then I moved out fairly young, and then I started just doing whatever to my hair. I always had cute little cuts. I don't know if you remember Meg Ryan. She had the cutest little haircut. She had like the little pixie haircut. I forgot what it was called. I think it was just like this fringy, super short haircut. I had that. And I would grow my hair out, then I would cut it again. My hair, I think I would let it go to my bra strap, then I would chop it off again. Hairdressers loved me because I would let them do whatever to my hair. I had I don't know if it's the B or A line. I don't remember, but it's where it's shorter, longer, and then the top was long. It was super cute. There was so many styles, that were really, really adorable. So into the 90s, they had the cutest hairstyles. I remember, was it Jennifer Aniston? I cut my hair just like she had it. I mean, it was just fun. I experimented with my hair. So it was fun. And I never liked my hair long. So on to about, I met my husband about, I believe, 6.5 years now. He is great with time. He knows when we met. He knows our anniversary dates, our marriage date, the day he proposed. I mean, it is cute. I never remember dates like that, and I think he gets upset with me. I mean, I just don't remember. And one time I forgot his birthday, and he was so mad and he was so hurt for like 2 days. And I swear I would never hear. He was quiet about it. I thought I wouldn't hear the end of it. I mean, he wasn't even telling me about it, but when I would bring it up, I mean, he just couldn't believe it. And I know that's horrible, okay? But I've always been bad with birthdays, except my two kids. I know because it's when I had my kids, and I just really horrible. So I swore that I would never forget his birthday again because, boy, I just, it was the wrath of a husband. So he loves long hair, and I did not grow my hair long because of him. So when I first met my husband, my hair was fairly long. It was probably about right here. And to me, that's medium, not super long, but medium length hair. And I did whatever to my hair. I was always bleaching my hair, doing this, had red, had dark, had blonde. I was always frying my hair, doing whatever. I had it so bad one time that my hair was bleach blonde, and well, it was not, it was dark, but I wanted to bleach it blonde. And again, because I would go through stages, and I fried it so bad because I bleached it 3 days in a row without giving it a break. At the time, I was just doing whatever. And I figured back then it was just hair because I really didn't care about my hair back then. So I took the bleach and just, threw it in my hair, and I just wanted it blonde again. And I remember my hair was probably mid back right then. It was probably at my bra strap, really pretty. I mean, I didn't care about long hair, but it looked, I liked it. And slowly it started breaking at the end. I probably had it happen, but not quite to this degree. And it was just like, it started like as time went on, it was probably, I'd say, a series of a month or so. Oh, no, less, about a month. It was breaking slowly. I mean, it was chopping off. And before I knew it, it was like this, big pieces. And at the top, I had it to where I had pieces like this on the top, just broken off, broken off. So it was so thin from the breakage that I ended up cutting my hair till about right here. And then I cut it even shorter because it was just so damaged. And mind you, I have my courses saying I had, from my bleached hair, towards the end of the 2 years, I did not do big chops or trims because I had learned closer to the end of this 2.5 year mark that I've been growing my hair out till today. It was something that I don't do now, or I didn't do before growing my hair. I healed my hair from the inside out. But at the time, this 6.5 or 7 years, whatever it's been, I didn't care. I just fried it. So he didn't say nothing, but I knew he did not like my hair, and I just could feel it. And he just really was, um, I don't know, it's that vibe you get. So I'll never forget this. He denies it, and I make sure he's not coming down. So I had, well, she's not a friend of mine anymore. We just had some stuff along the way, and it was just you know, stuff. We all went out, okay? Long blonde hair. So I kid you not, he kept looking at her, okay? And I know, you're gonna be like, okay, people look, but it was that feeling that I had because I had short. I thought it was cute because I had it curled. I had it really cute. If I could find something, I'll show you a little photo. I have them, but and I just felt so bad that night, and I'll never forget it. And it's been a long time ago, but I never forgot it. And there's things that people can deny up and down, but when you know. Okay, I just don't want to stir up things again. Isn't that cute? I got this from a little Japanese store, a little pricey, but it's so adorable. So, anyway, yeah, that was that. And that night was ruined. I was pissed. And it was just very awkward. And I mentioned it to him later, and he denied it, of course. But now I'm mad again. When you start thinking stuff, you get pissed again. But I'm trying not to be that person anymore. And sometimes it's hard. That's another thing. I want to make another course about, things that we go through and and go through with bad relationships, red flags. I've had tons of them, but that's that shiny sin. What is it called? Shiny object syndrome, when you want to start putting everything. I mean, it does pertain to us because we do take in so much. We forgive, and we're very forgiving as women. Hopefully, you can hear me. My microphone was charging. So I'm just kind of doing this video. So hopefully I'm not talking too low where you can't hear me. So I'm getting off on different stories, but my hair, about 2.5 years ago, I started watching all these videos, and I started watching long hair videos. And I know that I never wanted long hair, so I just started watching and starting to become obsessed with long hair. And I think there was a video I found that really got me started. I think the first, well, I might have been watching other ones, but I know one that I really started becoming obsessed with her hair was Pretty Shepherd. And she doesn't do new videos anymore, unfortunately. I don't know why. I haven't seen her do a new video for quite a while. But her hair is so beautiful. She didn't cut it, she doesn't cut it at all. And her hair is just amazing and still growing. But she has the beauty, like, so her hair is amazing. So that was where I was like, oh my God, and so all of a sudden I started becoming obsessed with it and watching tons of natural. I was on the natural hair community, started watching tons of videos about that. I got into that for a while. So that is kind of where I started with this journey a little bit of becoming obsessed and just all of a sudden wanting this flowing long hair. And then I started watching videos that it doesn't matter what age you are, because a lot of people say if you're a certain age, you can't have long hair, you shouldn't have long hair. And that is just craziness to me. You could have long hair no matter what age you are. It doesn't matter. It's just about keeping your hair healthy, strong, and vibrant, and doing the things that will heal your hair from the inside out. And yes, your hair is always going to have some type of friction, because we do some things to our hair, even if you're not bleaching or flat ironing it. You do have some friction. You just have to learn the steps to getting there, to keeping it growing. If you don't want long hair, that's fine too. But getting that fullness, or whether you're shedding tremendously more than the regular shedding phases, and you're balding, you could be going through so many different things, from vitamin deficiency or hormones. There's so many factors to it. But getting your hair back where you once loved it is the key. So this is why I created this course. And I feel like we as women need support from other women, and we don't need to bash other women. So that will be down in the description. And it is low ticket, but it's very high value, and it gets you back on track and keeps you going. I also have options. Once you get to my course, it's popular add-ons, and you can get my other guide. It's a 30-day guide to keep you on track. It's also a hair tracker. It is, you could use it anytime you want to, every couple of days, every day, and it will get you back on track if you were scoring low. It's basically like a survey: what you want for your hair, what are you doing to damage it, and then it gives you a little thing to select what you did, what you didn't do. If you scored low, it will give you a score and get you back on track. It will give you guides on what to do where you scored low. And so that is just amazing. And I also have another thing on there for people that still bleach their hair, because I know as a woman, I loved my bleach. And it's been about a year and a half since I had any bleach in my hair. Mine is growing out almost, but this will get you where you need to get, ladies. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments for me. And I hope everyone has a great rest of your morning.